Everybody, Tad Kozaneski along with Ed Bankin here on Jones Intercable. Real excited as we have two rivals in our viewing area going at it. Edgewood coming in at 0-4 and the highly touted Washington Township team coming in 4-0. Ed, it's been a very interesting season for both teams. Edgewood struggled a little bit, though, coming into this game tonight.
They've had their problems, and they really should be 3-1 right now. They had three very tough losses, particularly last week against Highland. Their defense kept them in. It was 7-6. Some questionable calling at the end of the game. Edgewood falls a point short, but they are still a dangerous team. They're loaded with talent, especially in their backfield.
Yeah, I was going to say, namely in the backfield, Xavier Wajid, as well as some of the other guys, Small's doing an outstanding job this year.
Yeah, they're really loaded back there, and they just have had a problem getting on track. The offense itself has not scored in 12 straight quarters now over the last 3 games. Their one score last week came on a blocked field goal. Part of that is the offensive line. It's young, it's gelling, and the running backs are having a little more trouble getting to the outside than in years past.
On the other hand, Washington Township having a dream season, ranked #1 in the state, #1 in South Jersey, #1 in the Delaware Valley, #9 on the East Coast in the USA Today, and ESPN has just named them the #9 team in the United States.
Well, there's not much higher you can go for Washington Township. They are a machine right now. Everyone thought they couldn't duplicate last year's success. This team looks even better than last season, with Mike Koerner still being his spectacular self, and Chris Engelhardt actually has upgraded the quarterback position.
Coming up in a minute, Edgewood versus Washington Township. We'll have all the action coming up in a minute right here. Tad Kozaneski along with Ed Bankin here for Jones Intercable Channel 13, and the gun is just shot off, and we are ready for what will be a real exciting game, we hope, between Washington Township and Edgewood. As we mentioned, Washington Township, Ed, comes in 4-0, ranked #9 in the East, #9 for ESPN, #1 in the state, #1 in Delaware Valley, and that doesn't say it all. I don't know what does.
That says a lot for Bob Lee's squad to have to go up against today. The keys in this game, Tad, of course, Washington Township, they have to stick with the basics. With Chris Engelhardt, they've been able to mix it up a little more than in the past. Look for Township when they get the ball again. Mike Koerner, of course, Mike Wallace, maybe one of the most underrated backs in South Jersey. Almost the same plan for Edgewood. Their plan is going to be keep the football as long as possible. They've got a talented backfield. What they want to do is work the clock against the Township team and keep Mike Koerner, the running back, off the field and keep the cornerback on.
Mike Koerner, of course, having a tremendous year, #2 in scoring with 84 points in conversion kicks. Mike Colavita, #2 with 16. And Mike Koerner also is #2 in South Jersey with 13 rushing TDs. And we're just about getting set for action. Township to be kicking off from our right to our left. Kicking off will be number 88, Mike Colavita. Back to receive for Edgewood, #2. That would be Zafir Wajid. He's on the far end. And it looks like we're just about set for action. Colavita's kick taking it about the 20-yard line. They try and come up with it now is Smalls. That Smalls cuts it back to the 31 and down at the 32, where Edgewood will take over 1st and 10 behind their quarterback, John Thum. On the line, I'll have Dave Hamilton, Mike Moriello, Kevin Robinson, and Joe Polena. The tight end is Art Dreyer, wideouts Jason Mitchell, Gavin Lawston. In the backfield, Zafir Wajid, Lawrence Thornton, Greg Smalls. Defensively for Washington Township on the line, Ian Smith, Chris Blank, Chris Mitchell, Derek Alston. Cornerbacks Mike Koerner, Mike Wallace. The linebackers Bob Ferris, Roy Price, Adam Schultz, Mike Colavita, and Chris Engelhardt, the safety. And we have a whistle to delay the start of things.
Well, Tad, we mentioned how Township has to, or Edgewood rather, has to keep the ball on the ground. It's very tough to run around the bookends, Ian Smith and Derek Austin. And this is where Edgewood has their strong point running is their speed, so it'll be an interesting matchup if they try and go outside.
Near side is Wajid. Wajid trying to get around the outside. He goes absolutely nowhere. Koerner throws him down out of bounds. Might have lost a yard.
Well, Mike Koerner in there with a strong play along with Bob Ferris and Chris Engelhardt coming over there for help. Township read that play very well. A little slow to develop in the backfield, and that were some of the problems for Edgewood last week against Highland. They've got to be crisper on offense. They've got to get their plays off quicker, especially against this Township defense.
He actually lost 3 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 13 from the 30-yard line. We're just underway here on Jones Intercable. No score. #1 team in the state. #9 on the East Coast for ESPN, doing an outstanding job. Washington Township Minutemen. Right up the middle. Big hit in the backfield, taken down by number 55 for Washington Township. Ian Smith, a big hit.
Boy, not much room to run against that Washington Township defensive line. And Ian Smith, we talked about him and Derek Alston, are without a doubt the 2 premier bookends in South Jersey football right now. The two of them are so quick to pursue the ball, and they're smart defensive linemen. You don't see them usually get caught in trap plays or anything like that. They're very quick to the ball. They're very intelligent football players.
Washington Township very proud of their D. They feel they might have one of the strongest defensive teams ever. 3rd and 13. Thune back to pass. He's looking. Screen pass far side out of the reach of Ralph Maduro. It'll be a 4th down and 14, and Edgewood will have to punt. Penalty flag down on the play. Here we go. It's going to be, it says roughing the passer, Ed, against Washington Township?
That is correct. It is against Washington Township, and they put the rush on. The problem for Township right there is if Maduro had even caught the ball, he would have been tackled immediately on the play by Bob Ferris, but this penalty right here should give Edgewood the 1st down.
Our first penalty of the game, it's a 15-yarder, and it will be a 1st down as it's roughing the passer. 15-yard penalty against Washington Township, and that is a big one.
And we'll keep an eye on John Thune, the quarterback of Edgewood. He went out of the game at the end of the game last week, just banged his knee a little bit. Now, talked to his father, the defense coordinator. He said he is fine. He should be all right today, but still, when you get an injury like that, it can get a little tender if you're hit a couple of times. So we'll keep an eye on John Thune's progress.
Washington Township's defense, tremendous, giving up only 26 points thus far this season, and that is second only to Cherry Hill East as well as Shawnee in the Group 4 ratings. 1st and 10 from the 44 for the Edgewood Eagles. There's a legal motion in the backfield. That'll be whistled down. Now they're letting it play on and rolling and being hit and sacked in the backfield as the tackle there is put on by Mike Colavita. But that was a case there where the two running backs both moved and everybody stopped.
I'm surprised they even let that play go off if that was illegal motion in the backfield. And we'll check the call from our referee, Al Shute.
It's got to be motion. They both jumped. There it is, motion back 5 yards against the Eagles.
And so that'll back Edgewood up. And one of Edgewood's problems last week, they were disorganized a lot on offense. They had a lot of false starts. They had a couple of delayed games. Now, Township most likely will decline the penalty. If it was a false start on the line, the penalty would have to stand. But since it was a legal motion in the backfield, Township can decline the penalty, which they did.
That's a big break for Township there, as that leaves it 2nd and about 22 now. Ball at their own 35. Handoff left side now with it is Wajid. Wajid trying to get around the left side, gains about 4 yards to about the 36.
So Edgewood again having their hands full against that big defensive line of Washington Township. A good block on the play by Edgewood's left tackle there, Joe Pelena, to free his man, and that's what Edgewood has to do. I mean, it has to be small steps against Washington Township. They can't go for the big play right away. They have to work the clock. Now they've got a 3rd and long situation, so we'll probably see Thune air it up again.
Thune threw it up on 3rd down already and was to incomplete pass. He's 0 for 1. 3rd now and about 15 from the 39. 2 wide outs to the near side, wide out to the far side. Now everybody clears out. Back to pass. They get the screen off near side. Cutting it back is Maduro. Maduro barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up a 4th down at about the 44. Good defensive read by Washington Township is in there making the tackle, number 88, Mike Colavita.
Well, Maduro, a nifty runner, but in a tough situation right there. They tried to let him string outside and get something, but again, Township always there in pursuit. And right now, Edgewood has to punt. They kept the ball for about the first 3 minutes here of this game, but really only be able to get 2 positive plays on yardage, and right now they're forced to punt.
Mike Wallace and Mike Koerner back to receive the kicks for Washington Township. As I believe the punt is to be taken by number 15, Gavin Lawston. Nice high kick, fair catch called for on the far side and taken at the 31, where Washington Township is going to take over 1st and 10. Chris Engelhart, the quarterback in the backfield. Adam Schultz, Mike Koerner, and Mike Wallace. Wideouts, Phil Butler and Mike Colavita on the line. Terry Smith, Dean Auer, Bob Ferris, Matt Murray, and Chris Mitchell. For Edgewood on the front line, Art Dreyer, Mike Murriello, Dave Hamilton, Jason Mitchell. Their cornerbacks, Greg Smalls and Lawrence Thornton. Also Dave Jackson will see some time. Linebackers, Fred Alexander, Sean McGee, Ralph Maduro, and the defensive secondary, Gavin Lawston, Zafir Wajid, and Nick Gargano. 1st and 10 for the Minutemen from the 33. Koerner in motion near side. Dropping back, they're looking. They get the pass off, and it's overthrown on the near side. Pass intended for Mike Wallace, who was open. He'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Oh, give credit to Joe Polena, the defensive lineman for Edgewood. He came in, put some pressure on Engelhardt. He read that play well, and that's why I think the pass was a little off target there by Engelhardt. But there you get a look at number 5. He's had a strong season for this team. And with all due respect to Tim Huckle, who quarterbacked the team to the Group 4 title last year, many feel Engelhardt has actually upgraded the quarterback position.
2nd and 10 for the Washington Township Minutemen. Defensive coordinator John Thune for Edgewood really has his work cut out for him in this game as they pitch near side. Koerner tries to cut it back up to 11, gets to about the 35-yard line, gain of about 4 to leave 3rd and 6.
Good play there by Ralph Maduro, number 23. He's a guy who can do a lot of different things for this Edgewood team. He's a valuable back who comes in a lot on 3rd down. Sometimes he'll line up in the starting backfield for Edgewood. And defensively, he's very quick to the ball, and that's what they need tonight against Mike Koerner and Mike Wallace.
We were talking to a couple of the parents for Washington Township before the game, and they really feel that their offensive line's doing a tremendous job running the ball predominantly to the left side as they did there. 3rd and 6 right now for the Minutemen, excuse me.
The middleman, there
you go. Back to pass Engelhardt. He's looking, fires, complete on the near side, caught by Koerner, close to the 1st down. Looks like he made it by about a half a yard.
Another thing that makes Mike Koerner so dangerous is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. He got things rolling against Camden Catholic a few weeks ago here with a big pass play on a deep reception. This is a team right now, Washington Township, again, not just Mike Koerner, but a lot of people are there to beat you.
Right now, it'll be 1st and 10 for Washington Township. They take it now at the 44, their first down of the game. Going in motion is Wallace. Handoff near side. Koerner cuts it back. Gains about 3 yards. It was interesting before the game. We had an opportunity to talk to John Thune, defensive coordinator of Edgewood, on how to stop Mike Koerner. And here's what he had to say.
Well, if you can give me maybe 14 men on the football field, maybe I can stop him. Now, in all seriousness, they're a great football team, and it's very difficult, a defensive team like that, because they can hit you from so many ways. I mean, the ISO, the sweep, the pass. They have a great program. They have great kids over there. Of course, our kids are good kids also, but we know the talent they have. I mean, this is a lean year for us, and
here's Koerner on a reverse. Koerner down to the 9 and out at the 8-yard line. Mike Koerner received the reverse. Koerner takes it from the 45 all the way down to the 8. A great run by Mike Koerner.
Well, the 14 men couldn't come on the field for Edgewood on that play, Tad, as John Thune suggested. A great play right there by Washington Township, something we hadn't seen yet, at least in our earlier game. A little reverse, kind of a fake reverse, as they faked a while, so Mike Koerner was there and the rest is all him. He is so explosive when he gets a hole.
1st and 10, we'll call it from the 7. Koerner, the lone back in the backfield. Great blocking on the left side there again, as we mentioned. The front left side doing a tremendous job. Koerner on the pitch to the right side. Great speed, cuts it back, taken down at the 5 by Zafir Wajid. Good read by Wajid.
Zafir Wajid is a player who is most noted for his running ability on offense, but defensively he played a strong game against Highland last week. He's very quick to the ball, and Wajid tackles the right way. He gets the guy low, doesn't try and go for the big hit, doesn't shoulder block like we saw many of the Philadelphia Eagles do against the Giants at the Meadowlands not too long ago, is a textbook tackler.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5 from the Minutemen. We have no score. 6 minutes, 22 seconds to play in the first quarter. Koerner, the close setback, the far setback. Now they go right up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown as the cannon goes off. Washington Township touchdown. Adam Schultz from 5 yards out, and Township takes the lead 6-0.
A big hole for Schultz to run through. Great job by that left side in the center part of that Washington Township offensive line. Matt Murray and Bob Ferris opening things up, as Schultz also got a lead block in on the play from the tailback and had plenty of room to go before he reached the goal line.
Now Township in for the extra point to be taken by Mike Colavita. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is long enough, and it is good. And Washington Township takes the lead 7-0 on an impressive first drive. And to take the kickoff, Colavita. Nice line drive kick. They chase in the near side. That's Wajid from the 10. Goes nowhere up the sidelines. Good pursuit is there to run him out of bounds is Mike Wallace. Edgewood to take over now. 1st and 10 at about the 20-yard line. Technically the 19. And the key here, Ed, is they haven't scored a touchdown in 3 games.
The offense has been shut out for 3 straight games. Their one touchdown last week, as we mentioned earlier, came on a blocked field goal. Let's see if Edgewood tries to string it out. As there you get a look at Bob Lee and the rest of the Eagles on the sideline. Edgewood likes to string it out a lot of the times. Let's see if they do it here again. They've got a couple of tough bookends to run against, but they tried to run inside without any success. Let's see if they try to sweep a few times here.
Thum over center, Maduro the close back. They pitch it to Wajid. Wajid left side. Big hit in the backfield. Wajid is taken down for a loss in the tackle by Mike Wallace, the senior.
Okay, throw out the running to the outside theory right there is Mike Wallace, who is, again, an explosive running back and maybe underrated along with the rest of this Township defense. People talk about Mike Koerner and Mike Wallace and Chris Engelhardt and how explosive the Township offense is, but Tom Brown told us before the season that he thinks his defense is the strongest point of this team. And we're going to check right now. It looks like we have a penalty flag on the play, but Washington Township's defense, as you mentioned earlier, Tad, could be the most dominating in the state.
Yeah, they play tremendous. They've only given up 26 points coming into this one, scoring 161. And they march off the penalty. It looks like it's a long one, too. Is that a 15-yard penalty yet?
Another personal foul penalty against Washington Township.
It's their second penalty. They've been penalized now for 30 yards, and that's something that Coach Brown doesn't want to see early on. You don't want, as we have a timeout in the field, you don't want to give Edgewood a chance to get back into the game.
So Township takes their first time out of the half. Edgewood still with all 3 remaining.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. We'll have more about that as the game goes along. Back to pass, screen pass, tipped and caught on the far side. Nice play by Dreyer, the tight end, for the first down. Dreyer at midfield. He is taken down hard at the 50-yard line. The defense was there, Ed, but that's great concentration by Art Dreyer.
You're exactly right, Ted. That is all what that play is about right there. Concentration. Dreyer on the deflection. It's hard. Receivers get in a rhythm, too, just like quarterbacks and running backs. And when there's any kind of little disruption like that, it's very difficult. It calls for complete concentration. And Thum, with the time in the pocket that time, is able to hit Art Dreyer, who is known for his defensive work, but has done a good job at tight end. And if Edgewood can continue to have a little success throwing the football, Bob Lee, who usually likes to keep it on the ground, may air it out a little bit tonight.
1st and 10 for the Eagles from exactly midfield. Hand off to the deep back, cutting it up right up the middle is Smalls. Smalls' first carry of the game. He gains about a yard before he stopped right up there in a nice defensive play. Derek Alston.
And also Bob Farrison on the play. We've called his number a couple times, number 58, Bob Farris. He's a guy who really fills those inside holes very well in his linebacker position. It's very tough to get by that front 4 of Township, but Ferris, Price, Schultz, and Colavita in that linebacking set really can cause some problems if you can manage to get by the front part of Township's line.
2nd and 9 from the 49. Washington Township with the lead, 7-0, 4:45 to play in the first. And now Edgewood is going to call timeout. That'll give us an opportunity here to talk a little bit about some of the other power rankings. And the way this is kind of crazy, Ed, is Buna, which lost to Hamilton, which is 4-1, they are number 1 right now in Group 2 rankings with a 31 power ranking. Hamilton number 2 with 28. So that just goes to show you it's all based pretty much on who you play and the records of the team you play against.
Exactly. And getting back to Township for a second, what Washington Township wants to root for is for Cherokee to slip and take a loss in one of their last 3 games, and that is a possibility. The Chiefs, who are ranked number 2 in South Jersey and in the power rankings are ranked 4th, they still have games against Shawnee, Pemberton, Rancocas Valley, and Holy Cross. 4 tough games. If they can win those 4, their power ratings are going to skyrocket. Washington Township can control their own destiny by beating Eastern and by beating Cherry Hill East as far as the rankings go, but a loss or even a tie by Cherokee wouldn't be a bad thing for Township in the power ratings.
Fortunately for Washington Township and for Eastern, that Thanksgiving game will be played against Eastern. It'll be here at Washington Township. That game does not matter in the playoff situation because it will already be determined at that point. But we could have a thing like we had last year where they play back-to-back games against one another. It could happen again this year. 2nd and 9 from the 50 for the Eagles. Thum back to pass. He's looking. Arcs up a deep ball. The coverage is there. It's up for grabs and caught on the far side. Zafir Wajid out of bounds, but it is a catch. Yes, they are calling it a catch. Wajid up for the jump ball, catches it at the 23, 1st and 10 Eagles.
Well, give credit to the offensive line of Edgewood. Great protection for John Thum. And right there, that's just a jump ball, very simply. You've got Zafir Wajid. We're going to take a look at it again. Watch the replay. Look at the time that John Thune has in the pocket. All the time in the world. This is the jump ball right here. Zafir Wajid, though, a gifted athlete, able to jump another gifted athlete, out jump him. Mike Wallace, ball up for grabs. Wajid on the fly pattern gets a big gain.
1st and 10 for the Eagles from the 23. Township jumped, and that'll be another 5-yard penalty. That's the 3rd penalty against Washington Township for 35 yards.
And Tad, we are in the new palatial setting up here in the press box in Washington Township. I hope we do not have some cobwebs and some other stuff falling down here from the ceiling, as we might hear some stomping from Tom Brown, who, of course, coaches above us, as he has always in the past. And Washington Township, again, just hurting themselves with some mistakes, some penalties right here. And this is what you don't want to do against an underdog like Edgewood, who has the talent. Give them an opportunity here to hang tough early on.
Tom Brown's coaching record, 114, 34, and 4. 1st down and 5, left side, big hit in the backfield. Smalls carries. He was met in the backfield on the big hit by Ian Smith. And Ferris also in on the stop.
You know, Tad, every time Edgewood tried any kind of misdirection, draws, fake reverses, any kind of misdirection play last week against Highland did not work. It has not worked so far tonight. It did not work on that play. Best bet for Bob Lee, junk the trick plays, get them out of the playbook at least for this week until you refine them, because they're just not working, especially against this defense.
And this defense has a lot of pride. A lot of people saying it could be one of the best defenses ever here in South Jersey. They're playing very solid, a lot of skilled athletes. As it'll now be 2nd and 11 as they lost 6 yards on that play. Now the draw. And they fake it back to pass, complete for a gain of about 5 yards as it's taken on the far side and complete to Art Dreyer, the tight end. Dreyer in his 2nd catch of the night. That'll leave it 3rd and about 5.
Art Dreyer did not catch a pass last week, and he's caught 2 so far tonight. That time, Township reading the draw, and they're finally able to pull off any kind of misdirection there and get a play. There you see the score 7-0, the Minutemen on top, but Edgewood here with 2:42 hanging tough. This is a critical moment here, believe it or not, early on. Township a big favorite. If Edgewood hangs in here, gets a score, then we could be in for a dogfight tonight.
I definitely agree with you here. As going in tight now is Edgewood. They have one wide out the far side. 3rd and 5. Everybody moved on that time. One of the tackles moved as well as their wide out on the far side, number 88, Tyan Van. And here comes the call by a referee.
Mike Moriello comes the call by a referee, Al Shoot. And I don't know if you notice this, if we get another shot. The umpire to the right of your screen you just saw, excuse me, putting away the flag. If that isn't the biggest John Kruk lookalike I have ever seen in my life, then I don't know who is.
Boy, he really does look like him. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles. They go back to pass, looping it up in the end zone. That's long and out of play. A little bit of contact there, as in on the coverage was Wallace, but that ball was not catchable, so no penalty. Well, 4th down. It'll be interesting to see what they do, Ed.
Good protection again by that Edgewood line, and they're starting to give Thune some time. Right there, though, I don't know if the patterns were run wrong, but nobody was open. Also, good coverage by the Township secondary. John Thune's a guy, again, who, excuse me, does not get a chance to throw the football that often. This could be his kind of game, this kind of night. If Edgewood's going to have to air it out a little bit, this could be the night that John Thune can really step forward and make a name for himself in South Jersey.
Roy Price picking up the signs from the sidelines, signaling back, trying to get the defensive signals. We saw Roy with the baseball team. He's a senior. They're going for it on 4th and 10. Everyone in tight. Fake it. Now they're rolling back to pass. Rolling with it is Thune. He's looking, going across the middle. Incomplete on a nice defensive play by who else but Mike Koerner, who was in there as a nice pass was attempted for Art Dreyer, but Koerner was ready for it and was there to knock it down.
Good execution by both teams. Edgewood with Thune rolling out to the right. Whether that was designed or not, we're not sure. But Dreyer was cutting over. He was open momentarily, but a great athletic play again by Mike Koerner to get over and knock the ball away. So Edgewood with a big early chance here are unable to capitalize. Now it's up to Washington Township. If they want to really get Edgewood down here emotionally, they can get a big score here and really start having Edgewood thinking about their chances.
That was a big play for Edgewood mentally as well as physically in this game. 1st and 10 now from the 24. Koerner in motion to the near side. Handoff, fumble up the middle. It's loose. We'll see who gets it. Looks like Washington Township recovers. The ball was handed to Adam Schultz, who was met right in the backfield, but Schultz recovered. It'll be a loss of about 5.
Well, disruption caused that play, Tad, as Kelleen Medora. I saw Medora on there. That is Kelleen. That is Ralph's brother. Got in there in a hurry, and that really caused the problems in the backfield. They were unable to get a clean handoff off. And so Edgewood defensively here has to make a stand. They've started so far on first down.
2nd and 15 for the Minutemen. Koerner, left side, blocker in front, cuts it back. He's taken down from behind. Number 50 on the play. That Sean McGee, Ed, just fell right into Mike Koerner from behind and made the tackle.
Sean McGee had such an outstanding game last week. He's entitled to get a tackle by accident every now and then. Give credit to Ralph Maduro, too. He helped close that hole. The Minutemen opened up a hole originally for Koerner to get through, and then Maduro was there to force Koerner to his left. That resulted in McGee kind of falling into him for the tackle.
3rd and 12 right now for the Minutemen. Ball on the 22-yard line. Wide out to the near side is Phil Butler. One back in the backfield. Engelhardt back. Looking. Fires to the near side. Complete by Koerner on a nice catch. He's taken down from behind on a real nice tackle, and some words exchanged by Severe Wajid. Wajid's really got his watch himself down there, Ed. That is close to a first down.
It looks like there'll be a penalty tacked on after that first down.
That is just a dumb play by Wajid if he picks up the 15-yard penalty, and here it is. There it is.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the officials when the arms go out like that. So an added penalty after what it looked like a first down by Mike Koerner. And, you know, you could call it maybe a little frustration for not being able to score, but there's just no excuse for that. We've seen Township hurt themselves with a couple of personal foul penalties, keeping Edgewood's drives alive. That's just inexcusable in a situation like that. And now the result, another 15 yards tacked on to Koerner's gain, and they have it at midfield.
Zafir Wajid, the senior, 6'2", 180. That's just a dumb play. You hate to say that for a young high school player, but that extracurricular might have just cost his team. They looked like it was very, very close to the first down. 1st and 10 now for midfield. Left side going up, right up the middle, big hole, and gaining about 9 yards on the play on the carry there was Wallace.
Well, the first time we've seen that gentleman, Mike Wallace, carry tonight. And again, he's kind of underrated by a lot of people, except for the defensive coaches he goes against, because so many people talk about Mike Koerner. Mike Wallace is an outstanding running back, and he really benefits, too. With Koerner back there, you have to pay so much attention to 42. It opens things up for 30.
This is going to be the last play of the first quarter. 2nd and 3. Koerner cuts it back up the middle. Nice tackle in the backfield. Maduro on the tackle, close to the first down. Township on a first down play goes to Koerner right up the middle. There is a flag down. Koerner tackled in the backfield by number 50, Sean McGee. As we said, though, a flag's down. Here's the call. First false start against Township.
Interesting decision. Well, false start, of course, the penalty has to be accepted, so they will mark off the 5-yard penalty. And there again, our referee, Al Shute, with the call. A lot of penalties here so far early on, Tad, which has been very uncharacteristic for a Township team so far this year.
That is their 4th penalty for 40 yards here in the first half. The big penalty, as we mentioned, for Wajid, that was a 15-yard penalty, and that really was a shot in the arm for Township. Township now 1st and 15 from the 45. Edgewood doing a real solid job defensively. They've given up 49 points. Their problem is they've only scored 12. Right up the middle now, gaining about the original line of scrimmage on a nice carry by Wallace. Wallace gains about 5. That'll leave it 2nd and about 10.
Well, Ted, despite a couple of tough penalties against Edgewood, the Eagles had to be pretty happy right here. They're in the second quarter. It's 7-0. They've been able to move the ball against Township, which is something a lot of teams haven't been able to do. And Township has had a couple of big plays, but so far they haven't had a lot of them to be able to put the game away early.
2nd and 10 for the Minutemen. Everyone in tight. Faking now, Engelhardt looking. He's going deep down the sidelines. Koerner is open. Koerner catches it at the 12. Cuts it back to the 5. A great effort. Mike Koerner down at the 1-yard line. What a great athletic effort by Mike Koerner. He beat the defense of Lawrence Thornton. 1st and goal, Minutemen.
Wow. Not much else you could say about that. That is all number 42 right there on your screen, Mike Koerner. A great play as he absolutely burned his man Thornton down the right side, and great time for Township to do it. Well, look at it again. Engelhardt with the quick drop and then the throw. He had enough time. Look at Koerner. He's a good 2 or 3 yards away from the man trying to stop him. The first man out there for Edgewood was Dave Jackson. Then some great moves by Koerner to get near the goal line.
Back to live action. Koerner off left tackle into the end zone. Touchdown. Mike Koerner from 1 yard. and Township takes the lead 13-0.
Well, Tad, if this game starts to get out of hand, I think we'll look at that last pass play as the play of the game right now. Is Mike Koerner, again, you want to watch him out of the backfield. Then, boom, he's down the right side. With his speed, he gets open for the big play, and then first and goal on the one. That's death for a defense against Township.
A little late with the the cannon there. It shakes the whole press box.
I think they knocked off a part of the scoreboard. I'm not sure with that last shot.
Colavita for the extra point. Kick is long enough. The kick is good. So Washington Township on the 1-yard run by Mike Koerner take the lead 14-0. Koerner now has 14 rushing TDs for the season. And a total now, let's see, if we add 6, he now has 90 points for the season. Really tough to take. They haven't scored in their last 3 games. Now Wajid has a chance to redeem himself to the 20. Trying to get around the outside. A big hit. And he is drilled right in the ground by Engelhardt. What a great tackle.
Well, he cut inside and there was nothing there but a big blue number 5 jersey, a textbook play by Chris Engelhardt. We've seen him make a couple of big hits. Of course, he plays in the secondary too, Tad, as the free safety. He was not going to be the starting free safety last year, got a chance to play due to an injury to the starter, and didn't give up the job the rest of the year. He played so brilliantly. And Tom Brown says that his experience under pressure last year has helped him this year on both sides of the football.
That really put a charge into the sidelines. Not only was it a great hit, but they're throwing footballs or something into the crowd, and they're going nuts right below us.
The traditional after touchdown, after kickoff, a mini football toss. It is Parents' Day here at Washington Township.
We got to get some of these cheerleaders to work out a little more. They're not coming within about 50 feet of us up here.
Well, we're a long throw. We're about Dan Marino range on that arm strength.
I don't care. I want a ball.
Well, go get one. What are you standing here for?
1st and 10
Busy
for
man.
the Eagles. Back now on the draw. Wajid right side. Nice tackles. He's taken down from behind by Steve Seibert. Seibert, a nice play.
Oh, Township's defense, they just flood that line on the play. You've got to get your plays off quicker if you're going against that Township line because they are so quick to the ball, just a swarming defense. Swarming red a couple weeks ago. Now they're back to their traditional blue jerseys as they had a little red outfits on there for the Camden Catholic game. Like the blue ones better.
Yeah, blue looks really impressive here. They had the helmet on the field last game. They didn't have a chance to paint it out here for this game, but I'm just impressed. The facilities here are tremendous. First class all the way. Got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. Back to pass. The blitz is on. They get the pass off near side. Going down. It'll be whistled down as Lawrence Thornton made the catch. Thornton on a nice catch, but he slipped down and couldn't handle it.
Well, if you call a screen play on a blitz, it has to be set just the right way on the right side. You've got to have the right amount of blockers on the weaker side of the blitz, if there is a weaker side of the blitz. If you can break through that original line right there, then you've got a chance for a big game. But Edgewood not able to execute. And again, how many 3rd and longs have we seen for the Eagles so far?
Well, as we mentioned, they don't have many points on the board, and we're seeing why today. They're not getting a lot of superior blocking up front in this Township front defensive line, doing a tremendous job with Ian Smith, Chris Blank, Chris Mitchell, and Derek Alston. 3rd and 14 from the 18-yard line. Thum faking. He's rolling. He's being pursued. Gets the ball off. Intercepted on the far sideline. Coming up with it is DeMarco. DeMarco down the far sideline. Out of bounds at about the 11. Tom DeMarco, the senior, with an interception in Township, is really in good shape now.
And, Tad, the key to that play, if you notice why that pass was very wobbly, because Ian Smith came in and laid a hit on Thum as he was unloading that football. One thing I don't understand, Tad, on that play, they ran a play action. It's 3rd and 14. You know they're going to throw the football if you're Washington Township. A play action can only delay your quarterback from getting back and getting time to throw. And as a result, Thum was hit on the play, and it's an interception by DeMarco.
That's a real good point. I don't profess to being the god of coaching, but if everyone knows you're going to throw the ball in that situation, and unfortunately it backfired. Township 1st and 10, rolling with it now is Engelhardt. He's looking. He throws across the middle. It's tipped and caught for a touchdown. In the end zone, taken in by number 85, Phil Butler. But when things go right, you get the bounces like that.
Horrible pass by Chris Engelhardt. but it worked out well. Watch the replay again. 88 Mike Colavita is the intended receiver. It goes high for Colavita, but watch this. Tipped right into the hands of Phil Butler, who's been kind of quiet this year just because Township has had such success running the football and throwing to their backs. But Phil Butler gets a touchdown on a deflection, and Washington Township beginning to open things up here in the first half.
That's the way they put it on paper, tip it from one receiver to the other. The snap is bobbled. Engelhardt looking, gets the pass off, but short as the tackle is made by number 14, Bill Cooney. So the extra point try is no good. 20-0 is your score. This is about the 12th football game I've covered this year, and by far, this is the best accommodations. You can have me back anytime. Here come the Eagles, right up the middle. Smalls kind of goes over one man, then he's taken down from behind. Actually, that was Vernon Heron, I believe. He's a junior.
Okay, they haven't listed as Heron. It is Vernon Horton, according to our Edgewood Eagles roster.
Well, Horton heard a who, and I couldn't figure that one out.
Horton heard a tackler coming his way and ran into him, but Horton had a good game last week on special teams, had some good returns. He's a valuable back to have. Came in a lot in the second half to run as well. He can do a lot of things for this Edgewood team, and they're going to need a lot of things here. 20-0. Edgewood, to stay in this game now, must get a long drive and a score of some kind here before the half.
Keep in mind they've only scored 12 points the whole season. They really have their work cut out for them now. They pitch it far side, man open, and he is just absolutely drilled in the backfield on a great tackle by Mike Colavita.
Well, time to call a new name on the Washington Township defensive line. That's why this defense is so tough to run or throw against. They have so many different power players. Mike Colavita right there, after Smalls got to the outside, read the play very well, and really kept him from stringing it to the outside, and that's when Edgewood is at their best, when they're able to string their running backs to the outside. They have not been able to do that at all tonight.
2nd and 12 for the Eagles. They'll have the ball at the 28. They trail at 20-0. Adam Schultz a 6-yard run, Mike Koerner a 1-yard run, and Phil Butler a 13-yard TD catch from Engelhardt. Actually, I should credit Engelhardt with having a first name. Of course, Chris Engelhardt. I apologize to Chris. Near side, they come with it. Pulled down from behind. The ball is loose. Let's see who has it. Is it going to be a Township ball? Now they're going to call it 3rd down, as it was recovered by Edgewood, but a nice hit there loosened the ball.
That looked like it should have been ruled a fumble, Tad. From our first view, it appeared the ball came loose, unless the only thing they could have ruled is if his knee came down before the ball itself came out, because the ball came out before the upper part of his body hit the ground. If his knee came down first, then it's not a fumble.
Well, usually when you see a fumble, they'll throw a beanbag or something on the field, and I saw the beanbag come across from the near sideline, and that's what initially told me it was a fumble, but apparently the head, I don't know, once again, I'm not the czar of refereeing either, but it appeared from our angle that it might have been. Nonetheless, 3rd and 6, Eagles struggling. Pitch to the near side, that'll be whistled down for a penalty.
Let's take another look at that fumble. Let's see if the fumble came before or after he was down. Watch it in slow motion replay there. Now watch Wajid. He's going down right here. Keep an eye on his knee. That is a clear fumble. The ball comes loose. Look at it on the replay once again. The ball is out even before his knee comes close to hitting the ground. Watch again. There's the ball. It's loose. Both knees are up.
Man.
Clearly a fumble. Edgewood gets a big break.
And there's now, well, maybe he recovered his own fumble. That's what they gave him. Recovered his own fumble, though. He managed to get it back, but a great defensive pursuit in the backfield.
The weird thing, though, is they seem to have spotted that at where he was, quote-unquote, tackled. That's what I don't understand.
3rd and 11 for the Eagles. They still have the ball, but struggling. Back to pass. Now they get the screen pass off. Nice play for Maduro. Maduro is drilled. He loses the ball. Picked up by Washington Township, it looks like. Yes, Washington Township on the big hit. There's that defense again as Township recovers, and they'll have a 1st and 10 from about the 25-yard line.
Well, we have seen some major league hits, and we'll get another look at this one. I believe that was Colavita. They run the screen well right here. Now watch this. Bam! Mike Colavita absolutely crushes Maduro in the backfield. And I'll tell you what, I don't care who's carrying that football, whether it's Greg Smalls or Ralph Maduro or Thurman Thomas or Aaron Smith. That hit's going to jar the ball loose out of anybody.
Man, Mike Colavito put his helmet right on the ball. What a tremendous, tenacious tackle. Engelhardt, he's looking. Gets the ball off, overthrows it to the near side. Had a man open. That was Colavito. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Certainly, of course, our folks in the truck, our director, Sean Tierney, and everybody doing an outstanding job of giving you some great second looks tonight. And this ball game, which is looking more and more like another Washington Township W, unless Edgewood can get something here right before the half. They have to try and keep Township off the board. Township already inside the 24 with a kicker like Mike Colavita, who's helped them forget about Tim Hucko, who had a great year as a kicker as well. They have the leg strength to kick a long field goal.
5:15 to play. The ball's loose. It's fumbled again. Looking for the signal. Township appears to have recovered it. And they have recovered. The center recovered that.
So there you see the umpire again, the John Kruk lookalike. There you see him just spotting the football down. But this has been a little sloppy, this game, and it's kind of interesting, too, because we've seen Edgewood make some mistakes last week. We thought they'd come out a little crisper this week, and Township really has played near mistake-free football all season.
3rd and 10. Edgewood must stop here. This could be a 2-down situation. 20-0, 4:40 and counting for the Minutemen with the lead. Back to pass. The blitz is on. They get the screen pass off. Going with it in there is Schultz. Schultz cuts it back. He's close to the first down. Schultz was taken down on the play by Maduro, but a nice carry and a nice play.
2 examples of screens in the past 6 minutes, one by Edgewood and right there by Township. Both on the blitz. That is how you beat the blitz. Number 1, you get a quarterback cool in the pocket like Engelhardt to get the ball off. 2, while the blitz is coming, you still get at least 1 or 2 blocks just to open up enough. And then 3, you get a great run like that by Schultz who gets you close to the first down.
4th and 1 for Township. Ball's just about at the 15-yard line. Look out. Quarterback keeper Engelhardt on the first down and then some. As they get about a 5-yard surge right up the middle. Some outstanding blocking right up the middle. It looked like number 77, Bill Griggs, did a great job.
I tell you, Terry Smith also in there threw a major block. And with Township threatening here, in a moment you'll hear from Mike Koerner. But first, let's see if Washington Township can punch this into the end zone once again. They are a team right now that just seems to be on an absolute roll. You give this team chances, forget it. You can pack it up before halftime.
1st and goal. They are just inside the 10 for Washington Township. Koerner, right side, tries to cut it back. Speaking of Michael Koerner, here's a quote from Michael Koerner on how comfortable he's been with the offense.
Because I've had 2 years of experience. I really know, I don't have to think really on a play where I'm going. It just comes like that to me, and I know what to expect when I get to the line. And I've been playing with the guys for a while, so I guess we're kind of like really clicking as a group and kind of know what to expect, and we're real consistent with them. So, yeah, I can
Koerner right up the middle. Koerner into the end zone. Mike Koerner, just as he speaks, Koerner into the end zone from 6 yards. And here comes the cannon again. Look out, folks. It shakes the whole place. Koerner on the board. It's 26-0 Township.
I think the gunpowder's jammed tonight. We've got another delayed fire coming to the left side. But, well, you just heard Mike Koerner, how comfortable he is in the offense. And as he mentioned, when you're with the system so long, it really just becomes natural. As you mentioned, he doesn't have to think as much out there. Everything just comes in such a great rhythm right there. And once again, Mike Koerner with an easy time into the end zone. As there you see the unfired cannon. We'll see or hear if it goes off soon as Colavita adds the PAT.
The extra point is good, and the cannon just sits there. I was waiting, and that was the one time I was looking for it. Koerner now with 15 rushing touchdowns on the year, 96 points. Terry Smith, Dean Auer, Bob Ferris, Matt Murray, and Chris Mitchell doing a tremendous job of blocking. 27-0 as they kick off to Edgewood. Far side, trying to take it up out of bounds, rolling out of bounds with that is number 21. That's Vernon Horton.
Well, Koerner's in a slump, Tad. He only has 2 touchdowns in the first half as opposed to his 5 last week. But in all seriousness, just awesome, this Township team on both sides of the football. And we've seen tonight Phil Butler gets a touchdown. Adam Schultz gets a touchdown, also gets a big run to set up that 4th and 1 play where Township pretty much got themselves in touchdown position. This team right now is just on a mission. They look better, with all due respect to last year's team, than last year's 11-0 championship team.
2:32 in counting. Actually, now we're down to 2:20. 1st and 10 from the 31 for the Eagles. Desperately in need of some kind of big offensive play. Near side, big tackle from behind. That's Roy Price. Price read that play all the way, and Wajid goes down after a gain of about 1.
Roy Price had missed the first 2 games of the season. He had a sore ankle. He was actually ready to come back week 2, but they decided to rest him against Camden Catholic. And talking to Roy this week, he really is happy to get back in that lineup. He really feels like he hasn't missed a beat, and neither is this entire Township team. They are just loaded. In fact, the big key to Township success, their JV team was unbeaten last year. Their freshman team was unbeaten last year. It's just like a machine. They keep reloading.
The seniors on this Washington Township team have never lost a football game ever from Pee-wees up. Pitch near side. Now they cutting back. Good run right there. Nice cover by Wajid. Wajid taken down on the play by Colavita. Actually, that was carrying it was Smalls, number 3.
Well, Edgewood here just wants to get something before they have, just for their own sake. 27-0 right here. They just want to be able to keep the ball. Now, Township takes a timeout on 3rd and 5. The Minutemen had to be thinking, hey, the way they've been moving, if they could stop Edgewood right here and force them to punt, they got time for another quick score before the half. Interesting right here, Tab. We'll talk about another game that's going on with, which you could say has some significant interest to the people here at Township and Edgewood. Woodrow Wilson taking on Cherry Hill East, and what a game that is going to be this weekend. And for Township's sake, of course, they want to see Woodrow Wilson win because that'll help them in the conference race, in the overall standings. Township has already beaten Woodrow Wilson this season. Of course, they have their big game coming up against Cherry Hill East, and the interesting thing about that, Cherry Hill East played here last year. Because they realigned the Olympic American, realigned the Olympic Conference, East must come here again this season to play Washington Township. And as you can imagine, Ted, Bo Wood was not a happy camper when he found that out, as East has rebounded from last year's terrible season to really get back in the race. That could be the game of the year in the Olympic American, but Township still has Highland to play, who we saw last week against Edgewood is a strong team. And they also have another game against Eastern, who is always tough with Larry Ginsburg at the helm.
Luckily, that game has no real playoff complications, just divisional-type complications, as it's
3rd and 5. 1:17 to go till the half. Everyone in tight for Edgewood. Now they on the draw. There's Wajid. Wajid around the right side. First down and then some as Koerner pushes him out of bounds. Nice play by Koerner, pushing him out at the 45.
First time in 2 games we've seen that draw play work, and that time was executed very crisply, very perfectly for Edgewood. They got the ball off fast. No need for a play action or anything before that. And Wajid, again, with his explosiveness, gets that hole on the right side.
109 was for Edgewood to stay in the game early, and clearly that is not the case, as you see the score 27-0, and it's going to be awfully tough. And you've only put 12 points on the board all year. It's going to be nearly impossible to come back against a powerhouse like Washington Township. Back to pass now. Nice pass by Thum, up for grabs, tipped, should have been intercepted on the play by Mike Wallace. I don't know how Wallace dropped that. Was right there on his hands. Nobody touched him, and he just dropped it.
Well, Thum with plenty of time, and they tried the fly pattern once again down the left side. And again, Thum just throws it up for grabs. Now watch the replay right here. Thum again has got the time. Edgewood's line doing a good job. But look at the coverage, and look at Wallace right there, just misses the football. And, you know, in the NFL, you could say, well, that's why they're on the defense and not the offense. Mike Wallace can't use that excuse since he is in the backfield. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back.
2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Ball at the 45. Back to pass again is Thum. He's rolling. Throws far side complete and out of bounds on a nice catch there by Maduro. He was pushed out by Colavita.
So Edgewood here with 53 seconds remaining. They now have a 3rd down, and it looks like about 5 or 6. It's 3rd and about a long 5 here. And Edgewood has had some success, Tab, with their passing game. Not much. When they've given Thum time, yes, but when he's been under pressure, that's trouble. You can say that almost about any quarterback, but if they can give Thum some time, they've had a couple of quick out plays to the outside and a couple of plays over the middle here, they can keep the ball right here and try and get something before the half.
3rd and 5. Back to pass again. Near side, gets the pass off Maduro, drops it right there on the coverage was number 94, Derek Alston. Alston, a big young man at 6'2", 240, a senior. Boy, oh boy.
Almost a good thing I think Maduro dropped that for his sake, because he was about to get cream cheesed right there by Mr. Alston. And Edgewood right there, a little slow running that screenplay. You can see that developing as Township's defense did. They read it well. And now let's see if Edgewood decides to go for it here. I'd say go for it. Why not? You got 45 seconds left. You're down 27-0. What have you got to lose? Go for the 1st down here. No reason to punt the ball away.
Got to throw it a little bit deep there to make things tough. There is 45 seconds to play, so there is a lot of time for Washington Township with their potent offense. 4th and 6 from the 50. They go back to pass again, looping it up far sidelines and out of bounds. The pass was intended for
Tahane Van, the sophomore. And they'll turn it over, and Township will get the ball 38 seconds to play, and they can, with their field goal kicking, they have a shot to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, you had to go for it there if you were Edgewood. They run the pattern down the sideline. Township had it covered, and maybe you want to try getting something over the middle. But on the other side of the coin right now, Township, as you mentioned, powerful kicker in Colavito. They're on the 50. They want to get about 30 yards, I think. Colavito, though, has kicked deeper than that in practice, so we'll see what Township decides to do. They have one timeout remaining here with 38 seconds left.
1st and 10 from the 50. As Ed mentioned, 38 seconds to go till the half. Now going in motion to the near side is Wallace. Engelhardt looking. He's rolling. Still rolling. Being chased. Gets the ball off. Could be intentional grounding. But they're going to say no. They're going to let it go. Good defensive play there. Number 99, Mike Moore. Moore was right there. Still no flag, Ed. I'm a little surprised at that.
Ted, that was
they're going to call it down. That's what they're doing.
That was a little scary. Right there is. We'll take a look at Mike Koerner. Watch him now when he blocks here. This is another underrated part of his game. Watch Mike Koerner here on the play. Go motion. Look at that by Koerner. Textbook blocking, helps out there. Throws another block. Able to keep Arch Rayer, and that's a tough guy to block, number 5. Able to keep him away as they mark it up. But Ted, that was a little scary for a second there with Engelhardt, because it seemed like his knees went back a little bit, but he appears to be okay.
That's a 15-yard penalty. Is that unsportsmanlike again against Edgewood?
Illegal participation penalty, and that'll cost them another 15. And Edgewood just digging more of their own grave to jump into at this point.
1st and 10 from the 35. 3 wideouts to the near side. Engelhardt back. He's looking. Still looking. He's rolling to his right. He's being chased and sacked in the end zone. And a great play by number 99 again, Mike Moore, the junior.
Well, last week Mike Moore was in situations like this. Mike Moore is a pure pass rusher. He had a couple of big plays last week, a couple of sacks. Mike Moore is excellent at rushing the passer. He's quick for his size. Made a nice play right there. And there you see a frustrated Chris Engelhardt, but probably not too frustrated with that 27-0 lead. 16 seconds to go here in this first half, all Township.
Township doing an outstanding job. They're being helped out by penalties. Edgewood has 3 penalties for 35 yards. Township 4 penalties for 40 yards thus far. And Engelhardt's had his chances, but his blocking has broken down the last few plays, and he's been sacked on a good hustling play by Mike Moore, the junior. He's 215, 5'9", shows a lot of speed, though.
And Tad, we did the game last year between these two teams in that rainy day at Edgewood, right around Halloween weekend. I can remember it was a 24-7 Township win in a game that was really close for a while before Township really broke the game open late in the first half and early in the second half. And Edgewood got the late touchdown from Zafir Wajid on the deep pass play. But they're going to need more than that tonight with 16 seconds to go in the half.
Engelhardt back, looking. Quick out pattern, near side complete. And going on the bounds of the play is Mike Colavita. That will stop the clock with 10 seconds to play. Ball's at the 37. He was looking for Colavita the whole time. Colavita was a little late on his pass route.
Well, third down now. At about 13, 14 yards to go. The ball is spotted on the 38. Right now, that would be a 55-yard attempt, so still too deep for a field goal. Township probably needs one more first down here, and they have one timeout left. They'll need a quick timeout after this play.
Koerner in motion to the far side. Engelhardt, handoff right up the middle. Good running by Wallace. Wallace with some room. Wallace out of bounds at the 22. Clock stopped with 10 seconds, but a great play, and running out of bounds is Mike Wallace.
Ted, the clock didn't start on that play. The clock was at 10 seconds before the start of the play, and it remained at 10 seconds. There's a problem with the clock, and so let's see what the officials decide here. This is going to be a tough decision down the field.
They're saying 4 seconds is what they're saying. 4 seconds on the clock. And as you see it wind down to 4. And now they stop it with 4 seconds. Township, did they get the first down? Are they going to give them the first down? Yes, they are going to get a first down. And we're going to see, are they going to come on for a kick? It looks like we will see a kick here.
Well, Tad, Mike Wallace right there, smart running. He made a great run, and then he went straight out of bounds. Although Township had another timeout, with 10 seconds left, you may not want to take the chance of not being able to get the timeout off. And now Colavita, this will be
41. Wow.
44-yarder.
Engelhardt to hold. It's a 41-yard attempt for Mike Colavita. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is going to be just a little bit short as it'll be taken and caught in the end zone by Zafir Wajid. It had down the middle area correct, but a little bit short.
And so 1 half complete here at Washington Township. All Minutemen. They lead by a score of 27-0. Now
You see us from up here. The brand new press box. This is outstanding in here. 2 levels. We're heated inside. This is just the greatest of facilities here in Washington Township. First-class organization.
all this and Dietz and Watson hot dogs as well for the half. I feel very satisfied up there. You get a good look at it. As we mentioned, Washington Township, and really all 4 of our schools, Township, Edgewood, Buena, and Williamstown, do a great job of setting us up. And I'll tell you what, with this heater going here, we are quite comfortable. And the way things are looking here, if Washington Township has a couple of those December playoff games, it will be nice to be nice and warm and comfortable, especially if people remember the championship last year against Brick Township. It was a nasty day, real cold.
Yeah. The only thing now is they just have to fight the power rankings. Cherokee has 41 points, Pemberton 38.5, Eastern 33, then Township with 32. We'll see how things move along. Their schedule isn't going to help them with games against Paul Six coming up. But we'll see. And here with second half action, here is Ed Benkin.
Thank you very much, Tad Kozaneski. As Sean McGee is set to kick off, number 50 for Edgewood in the white. Kicking off from our left to our right. And we'll be talking more about the power rankings as the second half goes on. Explain to you a little bit about exactly how they work and how it could be a negative for Washington Township down the stretch. There's a low kick. It's fielded by Tom DeMarco. DeMarco looking to go around the outside. Gets by one man. Slips by some more. He's got room on the right side, and then is quickly closed up by Ralph Maduro and Fred Alexander, who make the stop, but still a nifty run by DeMarco.
And DeMarco with second, third, and fourth effort as he came down the left side. Really did a nice job of utilizing his blockers. The Township will take over now, 1st and 10.
In the first half, Mike Koerner, 9 carries for 71 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns. Also, the big story, Chris Engelhardt, a very accurate 6 for 8 for 86 yards and a touchdown pass. So the Minutemen start out 1st and 10 on their own 41-yard line, already on top by a score of 27-0. Koerner going in motion to the near side, takes the carry, has some room up the middle, bangs into a pile, slips away for some more tacklers before he is finally stopped by Dave Jackson.
Pretty nice play right there in the backfield. It looked like number 35, Nakia Malicio, did a nice job of hitting the contact of the quarterback, Engelhardt, right on the play. Nice run by Koerner. Koerner continues to impress.
2nd down and 5.
Let's watch Koerner on this last play quickly, Ed. Let's watch Koerner as he kind of delays up the middle, follows his blocks. And a great 2nd and 3rd effort. He ran right into his blockers. We get back to live action.
Now on 2nd and 5, it's Nick Pace with a carry, and he gets head for the first down and more into Edgewood territory near the 42 before he's finally stopped by Ralph Maduro. And another first down for Washington Township. And Ted, the tackle before Dave Jackson, number 41, came in for Edgewood. He's not the regular starting cornerback. The regular starter is Greg Smalls, but he's been bothered by a leg injury. He's playing in the backfield, but Jackson has really done a nice job. He came in last week, did a fine job, and he's been holding his own okay so far tonight. And now an official's timeout. 1st and 10, they spot it on the 42-yard line. Township up 27-0 and looking for more as Mike Koerner remains in the game. And Nick Pace is a guy who, because of some lopsided scores this year, has had plenty of times this year to come into the game and really carry the ball well for Washington Township.
Washington Township, as we mentioned, Ed, coming in number 9 in the East in USA Today. ESPN has made them number 9 in the country, number 1 in the state, number 1 in the Delaware Valley. A lot of pressure on them as these games keep moving along.
1st and 10 now from the 42 with the pro set in the backfield for Township. And now they give us to Koerner as he pushes his way forward to near the 35-yard line. Another big gain by Mike Koerner. Tackled on the play by Kellen Maduro.
Great blocking right up the middle. Dean Ower, Bob Ferris, Matt Murray, Chris Mitchell, and Terry Smith doing an outstanding job on the front line. Koerner went about 5 yards down the field before he was even touched.
Interesting, Tad, if Township scores, have they fixed the cannon? Have they reloaded it? They had some problems with that in the first half.
Well, the problem is 7-Eleven was closed and Wawa ran out, so how far did they have to go?
Well, make a run for south of the border as Mike Koerner has the hole up the middle, puts on a move to the left side, breaking away. Koerner to the 10, ahead to the 5, and is dragged down near the goal line. Penalty flag on the play. It looks like we'll have a face mask. That'll tack on a little more yardage as another great run by Mike Koerner puts Township in business once again.
Here comes the official to come in and give us the signal. The flag came down to 5. It will be a face mask. As we look at it again coming up here, and watch Koerner. He has explosive speed. Great blocking in front. Look at Koerner. Shoots through just like a jet. Gets by the one tackle there, and then it's just a foot race. And there's that face mask, the face mask in there, number 4, Lawrence Thornton. Great explosive speed, though, by Koerner.
Looked like an unintentional face match, which, although it's really about a half yard either way, would have been about a 5-yard penalty. First and goal for Township. Schultz and Koerner in the backfield from left to right in the pro set. And it'll be Mike Koerner left side waltzing in for another touchdown. Mike Koerner making it look easy, and off goes the cannon. 6 more up on the board for Washington Township, now on top 33-0.
Mike Koerner again, his 3rd touchdown of the game, his 16th rushing touchdown of the year, and now has 102 total points. And as we were pointing out, talking to some of the parents before the game, you have to credit, besides Koerner's great athletic ability, he is getting beautiful blocking up front.
He could have walked into the end zone, and that's all the blocking. You have to feel for Edgewood. They are really trying their hardest out there. Just overmatched by an incredible Washington Township team as Mike Colavita is on for the conversion for Township. Good spot, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:23 to go in the 3rd quarter, the score now, Township 34, Edgewood nothing. Maybe we can get Mike Colavita to boost one up here with a kick.
He'd probably kick it over our heads.
He tries to kick it over Zafir Wajid's head, but he fields it around the 7-yard line. Wajid trying to go to the left side, gets around the outside, has got some room down that side, tries to slip by Colavita, and he does. He's finally gang tackled near midfield. Nifty running by Zafir Wajid for Edgewood.
And one of the things that made that play work there is Wajid caught the ball on the near side of the field. His blockers lined up on the far side of the field. Washington Township kind of over-pursued. He beat the pursuit, had a lot of blockers in front, and that's why he had a big gain.
Well, Zafir Wajid, one of the leaders on this team. Look at the umpire. Is that John Kruk?
Look at that. He looks exactly like him. Look, he's got the hair, the beard. He's got everything.
Take the question marks away from that, guys. That is John Kruk. Added some exclamation points. That is our umpire. The John Kruk lookalike is Wajid is stopped on the left side once again. Several Minutemen in the play, including Roy Price, and also number 1 now in for Township, Nick Pace on defense.
That John Clark lookalike is our back judge. He'll stand over the football, and man, oh man, it's amazing how much he looks like him.
And Tad, of course, it is Friday now, our time, while we are taping this game. By the time this tape is done, we will know who is the world champions of baseball. At this point, it's still 3-2 Toronto, so I don't want to speculate here with a prediction and then wind up eating crow by accident. But put it this way, I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm feeling a little good about the Phillies' chances. I hope I'm not wrong. You might all be laughing at me now. This is Wajid again. He makes a nice spin move to midfield before he is finally stopped by Chris Mitchell.
Ian Smith had pretty good pursuit in the backfield, but unfortunately Smith kind of overcommitted, gave for a little bit of a hole as his block was picked up, and a good run. It leaves it 3rd and 4. Let's watch in isolation now. We'll watch Rashid on his run right there, as he'll take it right up the right side. He picked up the block and a nice spin, and a good run by Rashid.
Well, he is a talented back, and Edgewood has really put out a lot of players who have become Division I players. And they have some talent once again. They really have some Division I prospects. And there goes one of them again. This is Greg Small's left side. He's got the first down before he is finally dragged down on the play by Washington Township's number 24, Steve Torres, now in the game.
Outstanding run, Ed. Their backfield, as we mentioned, coming into the season, Wajid, Thornton, and Smalls were 3 big backs from last year. They really haven't delivered this year. One of the problems has been their offensive line blocking, which has really hurt them, but there was a big run by Smalls there.
And as we heard from Zafir Wajid this week, he's a man who really is enjoying himself, it seems. Although, things have been a little tough for his team. Zafir Wajid, definitely a kid who's really a smart kid who's really enjoying himself out there. And now Edgewood on the march here. 1st and 10 for the Eagles as they trail 34-0. And now Thum is back to throw, going deep down the left side for Wajid, up for grabs. And Wajid, did he get the ball? Yes, he did. A great catch by Wajid as he out-jumped Nick Pace. The 2nd time tonight we've seen Zafir Wajid do that.
I'm amazed Thum threw that ball. The coverage was right there. Pace was in perfect position. That's just a great athletic effort by that man there. Zafir Wajid, the senior, just out-jumped and made a great play.
Another group of Eagles who play football about 20 minutes away from Edgewood like to have this as we get a look at it again. Go ahead, Tad.
It's just a jump ball. The ball's up for grabs. Great position on the defense. He just jumped up and made a great play.
I was going to say, when we see a healthy Randall Cunningham, he likes to do that a lot with the Eagles, with a healthy Fred Barnett. The Eagles have a lot of those plays in the corners, just throwing it up for grabs, and when you have a talented player like Wajid, you can get it done. And there he goes. This is Smalls now. Across the 5, pushes his way near the goal line, close to the end zone, stopped at the 1-yard line finally by Tom DeMarco.
The key to that play, though, was by Ralph Maduro, the fullback on that play. Had a nice kick-out block that really opened it up for Smalls, so that was really a big play for Maduro.
So 2nd and goal from the 1, and the Edgewood Eagles here looking for some kind of spark. I'll tell you, it's a moral victory to score on this Township defense, the way they can play some football. So it's 2nd and goal from the 1, 5:52 to go in quarter number 3, 34-0 in favor of Washington Township. Now they go with 3 men in the backfield. Maduro lined up closest, and he takes the carry, tries to plow his way up the middle. Did he get in? Let's see. There's a scramble. Let's see what the officials rule. The Eagles are signaling touchdown as they try and unpile the pile. Looks like he might be just short. Let's see. They're still talking about it. And the Eagles do have a touchdown as ruled by the umpire, the referee, Al Schutz. So it is a touchdown for Edgewood. Great effort by Ralph Maduro to push his way through the pile and get the Eagles' first score of the game.
He didn't make it by much. That was great defensive line play by Washington Township. That was really close. That could have gone either way. That's a real big morale kind of booster for Edgewood, though. Let's watch it on the touchdown. We'll get the replay again. Watch his blocking right up the line. He just kind of crawls in. He just quite got enough. Is in there almost to stop him was Ian Smith.
Kind of doing the Scooby-Doo step there with his legs to get into the end zone, Tad.
Oh, boy.
Now the extra point upcoming. That is the first offensive score for Edgewood in 14 and a half quarters. Now they will go for 2 as Thum is back. Gets a nice block, throws another one up for grabs. It is knocked away, incomplete. As Nick Pace was out there to make the play along with Chris Engelhardt, and Washington Township denies Edgewood the 2, but the Eagles on the board, 34-6.
Thum there tried to just throw that one up for grabs, too. Again, good defense on the play by Washington Township as it's Moon over Washington Township tonight. Do you know that tune?
Oh, one of my favorites.
Back in the 30s, I think they sang that one.
McGee with a low liner. It'll be Phil Butler who takes it on the bounce. Butler going towards the left side, tries to get by Thornton, but Thornton does a nice job of putting him down. A good run and a good tackle on the play as Washington Township will take over at about their 36-yard line.
Thornton did a real nice job of reading the play. You could see he was coming right to his area, held his ground, did a nice job on the stick and a good wrap.
And you are right, Tad. It will be very interesting to watch Washington Township after Safir Wajid single-handedly took the Eagles down the field for the score with 5 minutes exactly to go in quarter number 3, 34-6 in favor of the Minutemen. Single setback now for Washington Township as Koerner now going in motion. And Koerner will take the carry, tries to spin by a couple of Eagles, is unable to do so. Brought down by the Maduro brothers, number 23 Ralph and number 20 Kayleen in on the stop.
And if you're Edgewood, you know every time you see Koerner go in motion like that and hesitate, you know he's going to get the ball 9 times out of 10. They were looking for it. But great kick-out blocks in front managed to get Koerner 5 yards in a play that looked like it was going nowhere.
And the way Edgewood has started to play so far in this third quarter after that touchdown, you can't help wondering, hey, if it wasn't for a couple of turnovers, maybe they'd still be in striking distance here, but turnovers can kill you against a team like Township. 2nd and 5 now. They spot it on the 40-yard line as Pace takes the fake, and it goes up the middle to number 33, Adam Schultz. Not much there as he's met at the line of scrimmage by a host of Edgewood Eagles.
It's a good job by the defensive front line to read that and just hold their ground. Might have gained a yard on that play. Nice play by the Edgewood defense.
So 3rd and 5, no gain on the play, and Edgewood, again, just trying to go for a moral victory here in this second half, down 34-6 so far, has come out and played well. And there's Koerner once again in motion. And this is Engelhardt now on the keeper. Engelhardt across the 45. Ooh. He is creamed by Zafir Wajid and a couple other Eagles very close to the first down. They might have to measure, but there is a flag on the play.
Wajid came in out of nowhere from his safety spot and just put a lick on it. It's against Washington Township. I'm sure they'll take the 10-yard penalty for holding.
As the John Kruk lookalike down there, the Krucker's going to work, the umpire. There you see the referee, Al Shoot. There's the Krucker right there. I tell you, shaped like Krucker in absolutely every
Really?
way.
It does look like a P on his hat, too, with the circle
You know
and the
what?
line.
They had that radio contest in Philly not too long ago with the lookalikes for the Phillies. I bet you he could pass for a Krucker and Inky. He might have taken a shot at winning the Madonna tickets last week.
Yeah, man. The hair's man, oh man, this is scary. I'm getting scared out here. That was the 5th penalty against Township. They've been penalized for 50 yards.
It's a late flag, so it's a 3rd down and 11. It comes after the play. Engelhardt with the draw to Mike Koerner. Slips through a couple of tacklers and is finally brought down by Jason Mitchell. Mitchell was the player for Edgewood who picked up the loose ball on the blocked field goal and scored the touchdown last week. So Washington Township now forced to punt.
That was a nice play. They gave it to Koerner on the draw. They stuck it in behind his back. Koerner gave the impression that he was going to be a blocker on that play. And for the first few seconds, Edgewood bid on it and let him go. Luckily, they had enough people in the middle of the field to stop him. A good call by Coach Brown.
So this will be the first punt of the evening for Washington Township. As back deep is Vernon Horton and Zafir Wajid, and now an official's timeout. Now it looks like Edgewood is going to take a timeout.
Let's look at this replay again on this last play in the handoff. Koerner looks like he's a blocker right behind his back. That was a great fake. And you see the 2 defenders right there. They bought it. They thought Engelhardt was going to keep the ball, and that's why that's a good call in that situation by Coach Brown.
Boy, Washington Township just runs those plays so well. We've seen it year in and year out. As we take a look at it again.
And by that time, those 2 defenders were already beyond the play. That was number 99, Mike Moore, who's given trouble to Engelhardt all night. And that's the way you take Moore out of the play. You let him get his pursuit, hand it off, and blow right past him.
Boy, we were really impressed with Mike Moore as he was
Speaking
a guy.
of really impressed, look at this.
There you go.
Look at those football jackets.
I was
leather
waiting for you. Oh,
jackets.
you're admiring the jackets, I'm sure.
Yes.
I knew you were going to be the first one to mention something. That's why I just continued to talk about some football. But Mike Moore, in all seriousness, Dad, he's a guy who's really has the makings to be an excellent pass rusher. He is right now in his senior year. Next year, he could become the complete defensive lineman. Now Township will punt. This is Colavita with a high kick.
Oops.
And the Eagles let it bounce. So Horton had signaled for a fair catch, so maybe Wajid was confused. Down on the play by Matt Murray, and that is where the Edgewood Eagles will set up. So with 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, a 34-6 lead. Zafir Wajid and the Edgewood Eagles will set up.
Wajid, I thought was going to catch that ball for a second. He would have been crushed as there was about 5 Township defenders staring him right in the face. I see Mark Narducci from the Enquirers here today, one of our Jones announcers in the bottom left of your screen. Let's watch the replay again. This is Wajid, number 2 in the front of your screen. There's the fair catch. Now Wajid's like, no, I'll back away at the last second. As you can see all the blue jerseys right in his face. Good move there, Zafir.
Bob Ferris was there waiting to lay that hit. And here's Ralph Maduro, gets some room on the left side, plows over the defender. A big hit right there as he flattened Steve Torres on the gain.
That's called offensive power right up the middle. The poor defender was a little bit off balance, and here we go. Boom. That looked like a tackle. What a hit.
I like the sound effects, Dad. Very good job.
Well, I had the jet going yesterday in the soccer game.
I heard that, as a matter of fact, too. Tad at our Edgewood Buna girls soccer contest. 2nd and 1, a 9-yard gain for Maduro, and the Edgewood Eagles starting to take control here this second half. And as soon as we say that, there is a false start. This is Township's game for a win, but Edgewood so far having the better of it in the second half. And again, we heard from Zafir Wajid earlier in the week, and you'll be hearing from him a little later. And Zafir, a very confident young man, and you really have to admire these Eagles. Despite their tough start, they really like playing together. They stick together, and they're having some fun. And hey, that's the whole point of it.
That's the 4th penalty for Edgewood, 440 yards in this game. And they're doing the best they can. They're showing some signs of life against a very, very tough Washington Township team.
So 2nd down and 6 after the penalty on the false start. The pitch goes outside to Small. Small's trying to string it out, and he is smothered by a wave of blue. First in on the play was Ian Smith for Township.
Ian Smith on a great play, but a real poor block by Ralph Maduro. Maduro
tried to get Smith out of the way, but just didn't put any kind of block in the way at all.
And as we mentioned, we talked to Zafir Wajid early in the week, and he says despite the tough times, the Edgewood Eagles continue to stick together.
Hey, I'm here. I'm not going to quit on them. I'm senior, my buddy's senior, bag all of them. We're going to do our best. Edgewood, we stay with Edgewood. Everybody wanted to say, let's go here, let's go there, but we stay here. We lose together.
Very confident Zafir Wajid. 3rd down and 10. Thune back to throw over the middle. It is dropped. Dropped by Art Dreyer, the tight end. A rare drop for Dreyer, but not much room for him to go if he had made the catch. Surrounded on the play by Derek Alston and Paul Davidson, who's into the game.
Yeah, that's exactly a good point, too. Even if Dreyer does catch the ball, he's still about 9 yards shy of the first down, so that's not the greatest pass pattern to run in that situation.
But we have seen some big hits in this game tonight, Ted. And I think when you see a couple early on, right there, I think the Minutemen were licking their chops again. Another shot at a big hit. Both these teams have laid out some serious hitting, and as long as it's a safe hit and nobody gets hurt, you got to love it. Now punting for Edgewood will be Nick Gargano. Koerner and Pace back deep for Township. A very high short kick. Koerner fields it in midfield. Koerner looking to get room down the left side before he's finally tackled out of bounds. Boy, Tad, it is very dangerous for the opposing team anytime you see number 42 pick up that ball on the punt return.
It's also tough if you're...
Colavita looks to add the extra point with Engelhardt to hold once again. And another extra point banged right through the middle. So with 11:45 to go in the 4th quarter, 41-6. Once again, Colavita will kick off. Zafir Wajid, the deep man, along with Horton. And it'll go to Vernon Horton. He drops the ball and it rolls out of bounds, and that's where Edgewood will take over. Spotted at around the 9-yard line as it is inside the 10 for Edgewood.
Yeah, Horton plays center field like I play center field. He just kicked that out of bounds. Nice kick, though, by Colavita.
So Edgewood going to work here on offense. They've had a pretty solid 3rd quarter, but Washington Township starting off the 4th quarter with the touchdown pass, and the Minutemen just having another day at the office right here. Very business-like team, Ted. They go about their jobs, and they all carry out their assignments very well.
Solid in all aspects. A lot of these guys, a lot of these seniors have never lost a football game from Pee-wees all the way up, and it's a lot of pride involved.
So they spotted at the 9-yard line. 1st and 10 for Edgewood as they line up on the far side of the field. Now Ralph Maduro going in motion to the far side. And Thune is crushed. The ball comes loose. And Alston tries to fall on it. He can't. There's a scramble in the end zone. It's a touchdown for Washington Township on the loose fumble recovery. Several Minutemen in on the play. And Washington Township gets a touchdown as it appears that Chris Blank was the man that fell on it in the end zone.
Ian Smith tattooed the quarterback on that play. What a big play as Thune was just absolutely drilled on that play. What a great play by Smith. 6'5", 235, just tattooed.
And the hit was made on the play by Alston. Or excuse me, the hit was not made by Alston. It was made by Ian Smith.
What a great play. Number 55 came around the backfield. What a great play.
And so Washington Township's defense gets a well-deserved touchdown. The way they played all year, with a defense like that, they're entitled to get some touchdowns on their own.
Oh, got to get the ball in play. Now there's the referee coming with the ball. Oh.
Look at the Cruxter with that toss there, Tad. Our
throw.
umpire.
Don't ask me why we get a new ball in there, but we do. I guess Washington Township gets whatever they want right now.
Another extra point attempt by Colavita is up, and it is good. So with 11:19 remaining in the 4th quarter, let's see the cannon. Is it going to go off? The guy looks like he wants to load it up. Look at this, Tad. Washington Township, another big win for the Minutemen. And now the kickoff. And Zafir Wajid will take the return up to the right side. Gets through a hole, goes around the right side. He's got some room down the right sideline. Zafir Wajid across midfield. He's hit. Loses the ball out of bounds, but a good return by Zafir Wajid.
Wajid showing his speed around the outside. Township overcommitted towards the middle. Wajid picked up a nice block and made some nice running move around the outside.
Reminder, we will have both of these teams on at least one more time on Channel 13. We will have the Edgewood Eagles against Triton later in the year. That is the game on November the 6th. Triton despite their losing record, they're a team that can be dangerous. That should be a pretty good contest at Edgewood.
Let's watch this run back again here, Ed. Watch the great running skills of Zafir Wajid around the outside. He picked up his block there, carried it around the outside, still running. Then he was hit on a nice play by Calavita as we get back to live action.
And this is Greg Smalls trying the left side. Dipsy doodles his way through for a nifty gain before he's finally tackled on the play by Aaron Piriota.
And all the substitutions now are in for Washington Township. They're starting to give everyone a chance to play as most of the starters are sitting, resting on the bench.
Some of the starters are telling us it's frustrating. A lot of games have only played one half this year.
Yeah, and then especially if you're a senior, this is your last hurrah. And if you're spending a lot of time on the bench, it's not good for you personally. It's great for Coach Brown because he gets good experience in for his underclassmen.
The biggest thing is, of course, the main reason they are sitting is they want these players healthy for the rest of their senior season. Gain of 3 on the play, bringing up a 2nd down and 7. New quarterback in now for the Edgewood Eagles, Nick Gargano. And now the pitch goes outside to Maduro. Penalty flag on the play as Maduro bangs his way ahead to the 38. That is Kalen Maduro. Flag is down. We'll tell you about Gargano. He had to come in last week on the last drive for Edgewood when Thune got shaken up. He hurt his knee. And Gargano, as we check the hold against Edgewood, did a nice job of marching Edgewood down the field to the 40. Really hung in there well. And a guy like Nick Gargano, you talk about getting experience, he'll be the senior quarterback next year for Edgewood.
He's got to come up Gargano in this game as they are trailing it by a big score, and he's got to really bring his team up and really give something for them to cheer about.
Al Shoot with the call, holding against Edgewood. 10-yard penalty, that'll bring it back and set up a 2nd down and 17 for the Eagles. We mentioned Washington Township will be on again. We have the Washington Township Eastern game. That game is scheduled for Thanksgiving, but barring a major shock, that game will be moved to the weekend in between the playoffs. That's what they do if one of those two teams make the playoffs, and you can guess that at the least one of those two teams will be in the postseason.
It's a lock.
I would not count on coming here for Thanksgiving unless you like empty football fields. And now a good run by Jackson, who gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Well, we talked about Dave Jackson earlier, guy who's filled in well at quarterback and now getting a chance to carry the football.
And Edgewood's doing a good job now. If they're facing the second squad, they're doing a good job of running the ball and a couple nice runs the last few plays.
There you get a look at Gargano getting the signals from the sidelines. As Washington Township looking to run this one out, 9:10 to go. They lead 48-6. Another fun day for the Minutemen as several of their seniors have gathered along the bench closest to the crowd. Having a good time. Roy Price also out of the game. We'll hear from him later in this quarter. Price, again, coming back from his ankle injury, running well this year on defense. Now Gargano is hit as he throws. The pass is incomplete. He was buried on the play by Paul Davidson, the junior.
Davidson was right in his face. Good pressure. I'm amazed that we got that pass off. That was a nice pass.
We mentioned Washington Township still has to play Eastern. Of course, if there is playoffs, we hope to be bringing it to you on Jones Intercable Channel 13. And as Tad, I think, just mentioned a while ago in a different phrase, it's a lock.
Yeah, they'll both. There's no way that either one of those teams will probably both be in the Group 4 playoffs. Both powerhouses, great players, great coaches, they'll both be in.
Now Gargano will shift over from throwing to kicking as he will punt away. Back deep for Washington Township is Steve Torres. Gargano with a high, deep kick, a gorgeous kick, and Torres is going to have to let that one bounce as it rolls out of bounds. Tad Torres has had his clock leaned a couple times this game. I bet you he wanted to get that ball and bury his way downfield. Didn't get the chance.
Now, if I'm Torres back there, I'm saying, please don't kick the ball at me. Thank God it went out of bounds. Thank you, thank you.
Well, it doesn't get any harder for Washington Township yet next week. I know some people are going to be angry at me, but Paul the 6 is up next. And while I give the Eagles credit for getting their first victory of the year on opening day, it's going to be very tough for Paul the 6 to take on this Township team next week.
Well, I'm an alumnus, and Phil Cracchiola, the head coach, is an ex-baseball player, an ex-football player of mine. We played together. He's done a lot of great things. One good thing for Township coming in that game is they do have one win, so they do pick up an extra power point.
Whistle on the play is Mike Williams is now in a quarterback. We mentioned Paul the 6 is next, but then 3 very difficult games for Washington Township. They will definitely have to earn their last Olympic American, or second Olympic American title offsides against Washington Township. Their final 3 games, Cherry Hill East, at Highland, and the home game against Eastern. So that is 3 very difficult games lined up for Washington Township.
Yeah, not a lot of losses for either one of those teams, and they'll be big games, big PowerPoint games, too, for all those teams involved.
Penalty knocks Washington Township back. And now they give the ball to DeMarco, getting his first carry of the night on the inside handoff. Gets across the 10, a couple yards short of the original line of scrimmage, bringing up a 2nd and 12.
Pretty good defensive line pursuit for Edgewood, doing a nice job of getting in the backfield. It's interesting to watch how the second stringers go at things. Edgewood doing a pretty solid job here with their second, for they're starting to squeak in the second string now.
And we mentioned Edgewood. Their next game will be next week against Cherry Hill West. Pretty good team, Cherry Hill West. Always a tough game, and the wins may not show it as much for West, but they're a tough squad. Then they have Triton, Bishop Eustis, our Jones game, and then Overbrook. And now they give the reverse, and Torres tried to get his way outside, but nothing doing is Jason Mitchell and Sean McGee are there to make the stop.
Andy Kay Jason Mitchell did a real nice job of getting in the backfield, read the play, nice tackle.
Check that for Township. That was Kendall Quarles who's into the game. So 3rd down and 16 now for the Minutemen. Haven't had too many of these so far tonight. 7:18 to go. They lead 48-6. Now they hand off the ball to Pace. Pace with a couple of nice spin moves finally fights his way ahead before he is tackled on the play by Edgewood's Garland Green, who's into the game.
Garland Green. That's a neat name. Tackled by Pace, who kept up the pace on 2nd and 3rd effort. That was a nice run.
So Township forced to punt after the 7-yard gain by Nick Pace. Nick Pace is a senior, but he's a valuable backup on this team, and we've seen him so far run very well when he's come in the second half for Koerner and Wallace. He will contribute for this team in the big games as well.
Edgewood's going to pick up some good field position here if they can get a decent run back.
And the punt goes over at the 50, and it's taken by Horton, and Horton slips his way ahead across the 40 to the 37. New punter for Washington Township. That was John Freitag in to do the punting.
As we mentioned now, real nice field position. They'll take over about the 38.
This Township defense just looks absolutely unyielding.
The Bears of 86. Oh, sorry. That's how good they are. I'm comparing. Sorry about that.
So now Gargano running the show as Jason Mitchell goes out of the game, and they have 3 men in the backfield once again. And this is Jackson trying the right side off tackle, gets near the 35-yard line.
Jackson had to hop over one of his blockers in front. Nice carry.
So Edgewood looking to get another score here with 5:46 remaining. And Tad, a big game going on with another one of our area teams tonight. The Buna Chiefs taking on Delsey, and Buna, I think, can lock up a playoff spot with a win tonight.
Delsey is a very, very tough team. They had a big win over Deptford last week. Buna sits on top of the Group 2 power rankings. That is a big, big game for Buna.
I stand corrected. Buna has a big game against Bridgeton next week, our Channel 13 game. They'll have to win that one, too, to get in. As Jackson tries the right side again, gets ahead for about 4 on the play. And we talk about Washington Township's defense. One of their mainstays is Roy Price. And talking to Roy earlier this week, he feels that among some great Township defenses, this is the best he's ever played with.
I think it's like 6 returning starters when we were sophomores, so 3-year starters. And we're just excellent up front in the defensive backfield. Everything's excellent with Ian and Derek up front. They just, nobody gets by them. They're just awesome. And then you got Koerner and Wallace in the corners and Engelhardt at safety, so we're set on defense.
3rd down and 3, and Jackson gets across the 25 for a first down. Nice running here by Dave Jackson. And Tad, interesting to hear those comments from Roy Price. He says nobody gets by Derek and Ian. Of course, Derek Alston and Ian Smith. I think we've seen that tonight.
Yeah, they do a nice job anchoring the corners, playing real solid tonight. Just in general, Washington Township, well coached, great depth, great team, and don't be surprised once again if they repeat as champs.
So 4:22 to go. 1st and 10 now from the 24 of Township as Edgewood looks to get another score. Trailing in this one 48-6. And now the pitch goes to Jackson. Jackson tries the left side. Good power running there by Jackson. He tries to knock over Pace. and gets a couple extra yards out of it. That is the C button on these John Madden football, incidentally, for those of you at home.
Pace did a nice job of holding his ground and stringing it out of bounds. Real nice play by Pace. He's not a big young man, 5'8", 160, but he held his own and did a nice job.
Mention our games coming up on Channel 13 as the band strikes up a little Paul Simon here. Gotta like this band, Tad. I tell you, we talked about them before. It's a very timely band, too. They're a smart band. They know just the time where the crowd needs make a little noise there, and they got a little catchy tune.
Yeah, when Edgewood has the ball, that's when you play nice and loud.
And here's Jackson right side. Good play made by Township's Tom DeMarco to trip him up, but Jackson continues to run well for the Eagles.
DeMarco had a great individual effort, fought off the block, was down on the ground, managed to run some interference and make the tackle.
Couple of our games coming up on Channel 13. We have a big one for you next week, Bridgeton at Buna. Bridgeton coming into this weekend's play unbeaten at 4-0, expected to go 5-0 this week. And, of course, Buna with their big game tonight. That is going to be a huge game in the Cape Atlantic. We look forward to doing that one. Now 3 men in the backfield once again for the Eagles. Jackson, again, he fumbles the ball, and it looks like Washington Township gets it, and yes, they do. So Township gets the strip, and it's recovered by Steve Torres, number 24.
Torres was Johnny on the spot. It bounced right to him as the ball was hit out. Another bad break for Edgewood. They just cannot get things to go their way. Township just taking the ball right away. Let's take a look at this again, Ed, as we'll go in for the isolation as we'll watch it on the replay. Actually, a super slow-mo. We'll watch as the hit. You can see the line blocking on the left side. Pretty good blocking. There's that hand right there. Just gets it out. That was number 20, Howard Donahue, and a real nice play as we back it up and watch it again. Watch Donahue get his left arm in right there. Outstanding play, live action play now, Ed.
And now a fumble again, it appears, as there's a scramble, and Edgewood gets the football back.
There's a breakdown. You know, that's a case where with the second string in there, a lot of times they're not on the same page, Ed, and you get a little confusion. That's what happened right there.
DeMarco with the fumble in the backfield. And let's see what Edgewood does here. And Tad, we'll take another look at that first fumble and that great strip by Donahue.
That was a great individual effort. We'll look at it. Look, it just gets that arm in there. Great job. Look, the clicker. I got my clicker. There we go. Now we'll go back again. Great job to get that left arm in there and knock that down. Boom, boom, right there.
You
Good
always
job.
wanted a little toy like that, didn't
I like it. Yep.
But Edgewood in business here now. First and goal from the 4. Jackson gets the ball again, tries the right side, and gets in for a touchdown. So Dave Jackson, who just fumbled the ball, gets it back. And Tad, you have to be happy for him. He had some great running on that original drive. And after coughing up the ball, give credit to Bob Lee for letting Jackson get the ball right back and get the touchdown.
Yeah, that'll bring him confidence for next week. They're playing for next week, and their big game that they'll be playing against Cherry Hill West. And there's some of the band members getting into it. So, nice play, and it's good to see. And they have 12 points on the board. We'll see if they'll go for 1 or 2. It looks like they're going to go for the 1 point here.
And the extra point attempt will be taken by Matt Shipley, who is a sophomore on this team. Could be a future quarterback for this team as a starter. Shipley's extra point is up. It's high, and it is good. So with 2:28 remaining, the score now 48-13 Minutemen.
Looking at the other girls trying to follow along.
Well, Tab, we talked about the depth of the Minutemen, how they have a lot of
There she is.
juniors
Look at
and freshmen. Same with the cheerleaders. I mean, some of the younger players are continuing to develop, and that goes the same with that magnificent band.
Oh, they know they're on. They're waving to us. This is the horn player waving. Everybody's checking us out. We have some really good-looking people here checking us out. That's great that you get the little cheerleaders. They're practicing for the time they can get up for the undefeated Washington Township team 2004 or whatever it's going to be.
It's been a long run for the Minutemen, and now Edgewood, after that nice touchdown, will kick off once again. It was a really good play for Jackson. Good to see him get a touchdown. I'm impressed with Jackson, Tad. He really ran the ball well.
Now, are we going to see an onside kick here?
It
They're putting the ball
appears
on
so.
sideways. I don't know if you can get a shot of the ball real quick, guys, but they're laying it down sideways. Now they're going to fix it correctly. Yeah,
No,
it's sideways, right on the tee.
It's flat right now, as a matter of fact here, Tad. And this will be Kevin Payne signaling, and now here's the onside kick. Oh, they changed their mind, decide to squib it downfield. And it's picked up by DeMarco. And DeMarco having trouble, just smartly falls on it. And with 2:22 to go, Washington Township will look to run things out. Wasn't sure what Edgewood was trying to do there.
I don't think Edgewood was sure what they were going to do there. Put the ball on sideways and just kick the line drive right up the middle. Why not just go for the onside kick and Who knows on that kind of play?
So the Edgewood Eagles on the way to going 0-5, but a very tough 0-5, except for tonight's game and the Overbrook game. They really were in 3 games, and again, their schedule will mercifully get a bit easier after their tough start. So you can look for this Edgewood team, I think, to rebound and get some wins down the stretch. New quarterback now for Township is Brian Tennyson. And Tennyson gives the handoff off the left side for Washington Township. It was number 23, Fred Warren, who's in for his first carry. 1:50 to go in the game.
Giving everyone a chance to play. Everyone a little camera time.
Warren is in there, number 23, along with number 34 for Township, Kendall Quarles. And now a whistle, and let's see what we got. A timeout taken by Edgewood. With a minute 38 to go and a 35-point deficit.
They're playing for a 20-point play coming up here. Well, you know, hey, it's good. They're not giving up. They're playing for something here. It's second string versus second string. Try and shut them down.
Well, we mentioned Bridgeton Buna coming up next week, and then down the stretch we'll start to double up on some weekends. We'll have a couple of games for you. On November 5th, our first look finally, now that Mother Nature will finally allow us this time, at the Williamstown Braves. And a good game that week as they take on Kingsway at home. That should be a good one. Kingsway, always a tough team. And Williamstown, despite their 1 win going into this weekend, has got a lot of talent. They're also going to improve and I think get a lot of wins down the stretch.
That's correct. As here come the Water Girls off again. Boy, they get leather jackets for doing it. You think if we go out there and take the water out, they'll give us a jacket?
Those are nice looking jackets. I wouldn't mind that one bit. 1:38 to go. And now the handoff to Fred Warren. He tries the right side. Not much there. As we mentioned, we'll have Williamstown and Kingsway on November 5th. Then November 6th, once again, we will feature the Edgewood Eagles, our final Edgewood game of the year against Triton. On November the 12th, another big Williamstown game. Williamstown taking on Delsey at Williamstown. That should be a good one. And then on November the 13th, what could be the college football game of the year in South Jersey. It'll be the Profs of Rowan College taking on Montclair State in a game that, as of right now, will be both for the conference and a berth in the NCAAs.
Oh, that'll be a big one to see.
Under a minute to go now, 3rd down and 5 for Township as Quarles goes in motion to the far side. And Tennyson is brought down on the play. He is sacked by Edgewood's Eric Evans, number 66, also went on the play, number 86, who we do not have listed here on the Edgewood Eagles roster.
He was going after the ball, just couldn't quite come up with it. Nice effort. They tried to get the ball away, and I'm amazed that the quarterback got the ball off.
So Township will punt it away here with 43 seconds to go. Tom Brown now back on the field. Just passed by us. We got the little Tom Brown ladder here right behind us. Easy access to get back downfield after the game. And now Washington Township will punt it away once again.
Oh!
Freight tag again with the punt. Fair catch called and it's dropped and now picked up by Edgewood. Picked up by Horton. The ball was dropped on the play by Terrence Griffin.
Did you see that block on the near side? One of the defenders went flipping up in the air.
We got a flag down now. I think we saw the receiver, Griffin, call for the fair catch and then drop the ball. So I believe the ball cannot be advanced.
Well, that's probably what they're talking about right now. And here comes our official. No, he's waving the flag. Hi, Mom. That means no flag, I think.
Cruxter there on the left taking charge again.
That meant the flag didn't count.
I'll tell you something. I hope that umpire has a good sense of humor.
He looks like John. What do you want to do? You know,
He's watching the tape
deny
of this
it.
game.
He looks like John Kruk. He's doing a nice job. We're not picking on him for his calls.
18 seconds to go and counting. The clock runs now without the penalty. Now the pitch goes outside to Maduro. Maduro across the 45 near the 46. Again, that is Kelleen Maduro. And that should be the final play of the game as the clock winds down 2-1. And that is the end of this one. Washington Township does it again. The Minutemen, all powerful, winning by a score of 48-13. Tad over an Edgewood team that made a couple of turnovers early on, and that was it.